Hey guys, welcome back to another beginner aquaponics. Today we're going to be building some deck railing around my patio. We're going to build this kind of backwards compared to normal, and I'll explain why later on in the video. Here I'm cutting down a 4x4x10 pressure treated piece of lumber. We'll use this to build the side rails and support the railing all the way around the perimeter of the deck. For this project, we're only going to use 3 4x4x10s. They're going to be buried in the ground about 18 inches. In my case, it was cheaper to do 10 foot than it was to do 8 foot section. Now comes the tedious section of making sure these are plumb and level and packing the dirt in around it. I did have an issue where some of the concrete had oozed out underneath the forms and created a little lip that kept those bores from sitting flush against the concrete. So I just had to get a hammer and a scrap piece of metal, as you can see here, and I just knocked that out of the way, and then they were able to sit flush. Now I'm securing what will become the handrails that will go all the way around. We haven't decided if we're going to put a top on this or not. This is part of a kind of a larger project, kind of with a hydroponic system, as you can see there in the background. So we haven't decided if we're going to put a top on this yet, but for now we're going to use a 2x4x10, and you saw that I cut just a little bit of that off. This will build the frame that the slats will attach to for the railing system. I am by no means a professional. I've never built a deck or railing or anything like that. But one of the main reasons we're building this area here is so that my son can go outside and play without us having to worry too much about what he's getting into or what he's doing. We can come out here and put some of his toys and just miscellaneous things he would play around with out here. And he can come and go in and out of the house as he pleases, and just have a safe place to play. Now you can see I'm trying to lay out all the slats here, and I originally had planned on doing these on 4-inch centers, but I quickly found that was really difficult to duplicate all the way down and make perfect spacing. So I just grabbed a scrap piece of 2x4 and put a nail in the top of it, and then just use that as my spacing all the way down. This worked great to get a consistent spacing all the way around the deck. I did have to pre-drill all those slats where I'm putting the screws in at, because I did have some issues with the wood cracking. Now you can see here I'm laying out the posts on the last side. This is the next day. It kind of got too dark and wasn't able to film very well, but there I've drawn on the concrete a mark where I'm going to have to start digging with the postal digger, and this will be the final post that we'll have to place around the decking. Here I'm measuring it out. That actually happened to be 53 inches on center, and so that's where we marked it, and I was just double checking there. My wife decided to come out today and keep us company as I kind of finished this up, and she was kind of giving me some input along the way, and taking some pictures for Facebook and YouTube here, so you'll see her throughout the video. And here I'm measuring again from the base of the concrete to the top of the post was actually 32 inches, and actually I ended up having to redo this one because I forgot the concrete actually slopes down, and I made it match the lowest end, and that ended up not working very well. So you'll see I'll put this halfway together, and I'll end up having to take it out and redig all that back out and make it match, so it matches both sides of the railing. Now you can see that side rail is on now, and there on the left hand side it matches up with the existing side rail, and I ended up being about 2 inches off when I originally did this, so we fixed that. This time we're level and plumb again, and here you see us just duplicating what we did on the other side. I did find out I ended up started using 2 boards, and I ended up putting 2 screws in each one of them the exact thickness of the 2x4 that it was clamping onto. It was getting a little difficult to hold on to, and it was a pretty windy day, and it seemed like any little bit of wind just blew that right off. There's my son trying to help me and wander off with all my tools. Now you can see that's moving against the wall, and I didn't have any anchors at the time, but we come back and anchor that with some lag bolts or anchor wedges. Now we're moved on to building the gate. This was just a quick, easy gate build. I didn't build this the way I wanted to. I ended up loaning out my compound saw, and this was just the quickest and easiest way without having a compound saw that I knew how to build a gate. And it was starting to get late, and wife was getting ready to start dinner here, so I was trying to finish this project up. These hinges I picked up at Lowe's. They were part of a kit. I'll link in the description with these, but they're really heavy duty hinges, and I wanted something, since my son will be climbing on this, I'm sure. I wanted something that wouldn't bend or break, or if the wind caught it, stretch it out and cause damage. Again, this is a very crude gate, and I just threw something together. I plan on redoing this here in the future, but for now it worked just fine. One of the main things I don't like about this gate is just how heavy it looks. It's probably very functional and probably worked just fine, but I was going for something a little bit more decorative, or kind of had something in mind that was a little bit more decorative, so we'll come back and fix that, but that'll be in the next video. Now here you can see that I'm attaching a gate latch. This is probably, again, way overkill, but we live in Oklahoma, and the humidity changes quite often, and I've tried several latches on our chicken coop and just never been happy with one, so I'm going to try this one and see if I have a little better luck with expansion and contraction, and just so it lines up a little bit better, so the wife doesn't have to get out there with the hammer to try to get it to line up. We found out pretty quick that not only is this baby proof, but you can see in the background it's very husky proof. It was definitely not dog approved, which leads me to the other reason why we wanted to build this. With the baby napping and stuff, the dogs like going up to the back door when they want to come in and scratch, and they ended up waking up the baby. So this will be a way I can keep them away from the back door, and also give a play area for Alex. The hinges and the latch were made by National Hardware, and seemed to be a pretty decent grade piece of hardware for the price. I think I paid like $18 for both of these, or somewhere thereabouts. According to the package, it is powder coated, so they should last out there in the elements a lot better than some of the other ones. Now here's where I'm fixing that, or anchoring that last rail that you saw us put up to the house. I'm just using some wedge anchors here. You're just drilling a hole, and of course I grabbed the wrong size drill bit when I went to the hardware store, but here I'm just hammering. I drilled a hole in that 2x4 and hammering it over that bolt, and I'm trying to hit in the grout lines, as the brick is really difficult to drill through. So here I'm marking that lower bolt, and you'll see I'll slip it back up here and just hit it on there. Both these bolts get nuts on them, and that's how you anchor them down. These actually pull really tight. I use this to build some flooring in the laundry room, and it was next to impossible to get these out of there, out of the concrete. And they're good for about 800 pounds a piece, I believe is what the packaging said on this one, so that railing's not going to go anywhere. Here you can see a completed version of the railing system. We still need to come back and stain it, and do a little minor detail touch up to it. And there's a couple of those railings that cracked as we screwed them on, so I'll come back and fix those at a later time. But that's it for now. Like I said, this is part of a hydroponic build, and that side that you're seeing right there will probably eventually hold some hydroponic grow bed of some sort. There's just a quick look at that hinge there, and kind of proud of how well that turned out, even though it's not exactly what I wanted it, but it's functional. It opens and closes really easy, and yeah, so that's going to be it for this segment. And like I said, we'll come back when we go to stain this and start building the hydroponic system, and maybe parts 2 and 3. I don't know exactly when we're going to do that yet, but part 2 we'll start staining this and maybe prepping for the decking floor, hopefully here soon. So what do you think?
I like it. I am looking forward to staining it, but I think it will serve our purpose well.
It was a busy weekend. What do you think?
Do you like it?
Do you like your new play area? Keep the chickens out. The dogs. You can come outside and play whenever you want.
Yeah?
You want to come outside and play whenever you want? Still need to build a ramp for them, so you can get down without falling out of the house. Yeah. So. Yeah. Can you say bye?
Say bye.
Say bye.